She nodded and explained, yes, I had to learn how to zigzag so the bad guy doesn't shoot me. She shared how scary it was, and my heart ached. My heart truly ached when we had that conversation. What happened to reading, writing, and arithmetic in schools? Now the elementary curriculum includes reading, writing, and active shooter training. We have to position ourselves to do better for our future generations. So now I'm doing everything that I can to elect Democrats up and down the ballot and send Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz to the White House. And if we're going to get that done, we need every single one of you. After you cast your ballot in this race, we need you to do even more and help us spread the word. Whether it's making phone calls, knocking on doors, or walking into the nearest field office and asking, what can you do? You have the power to help bring this home, and the time is now. We don't have a time to waste. So I'm here to ask each of you, will you help us win this race? Will you commit to doing your part and sign up to volunteer so that we can do everything in our power to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz? These next 4 days, we can't back down. We have to do what Michigan does best and fight for what we believe in. Because when we fight, come on, Flint, Michigan, we got this.
Please welcome the Flint Mayor, Sheldon Neely.
1, 2, 3, My baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and this I know for sure. But does she really wanna, but can't stand to see me walk out the door? Don't try.
Come on, Flint, fire it up, Flint! You know, one other thing I know about Flint is the road to the White House comes straight through Flint. You know, I am very, very proud to be mayor of the city of Flint, the proud residents therein. Let them hear it, Flint. Come on, unions, let's let them hear it. I am blessed to have one of the best jobs in the world, to be mayor of the great city of Flint, Michigan. You know, one thing that I know about Flint is that we are a very tough, committed, dedicated city. We face challenges and we overcome them together. One thing that I know, my friends, is that we need somebody in the White House that can fight with the level of determination that we all deserve in this great country, and that's Kamala Harris. Give it up! You know, Vice President Kamala Harris, soon to be President Kamala Harris, there's one thing that we know about her, that she's been fighting a good fight her whole career. This is just not something day, month. It's been her whole life fighting her career. As prosecutor, she kept our community safe. As a U.S. California Attorney General, she fought against transnational gangs and stood up to big corporations. As U.S. Senator, she raised the wage for families and lowered our costs. Middle-class America, where we started right here in Flint, Michigan, we made sure that Flint inspires a nation. Give it up! For the last 4 years as Vice President, a tenure of service that saved America, that saved Flint, Michigan, that gave American Rescue Plan dollars to this community, and I can tell you for sure that those dollars and those high-minded legislative actions saved the city of Flint and many communities and many families all across our country. That is the type of heart, come on. That is the type of heart and commitment that we deserve in the White House. We need a leader that reflects us in our will and the best spirit of God in everything that we have for this great country. The United States leads the world. It leads our communities and our families. And when we vote, we know we win. But when we close our eyes and look at the most important things to us, for us is our families and our future. We need a president of this great country that recognizes that the future belongs to our children. We inspire a nation right here inside the city of Flint. And we need a leader like Kamala Harris. Give it up for her one more time. The type of leader that faces challenges with grit and determination. We need a dual team, better than Batman and Robin. Tim Walz is here today. He's going to tell you more about it. He's going to tell you what we need to do in the next 4 days to make sure that we win. Flint is going to push the nation over the top. Flint is going to recognize and make Michigan blue again. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. For me and my family, the choice is clear. What we need to do next. We're going to fire it up every single day. We have 4 days to fire it up. We have 4 days to go out and get our friends, our neighbors, our families, and everybody to be able to get out there and push this vote. The choice is clear. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, our next president and vice president of the United States of America. Yes.
Or Congressperson Dan Kildee.
What is up, Flint? Hey, Flint. You look good. You've been working out, haven't you? Look, thank you for being here. Thank you for what you've done to get us to this moment. Just a few days left. I especially want to thank you, though, for what you are going to do the rest of today, on Saturday, on Sunday, on Monday, and then what this country is going to do on Tuesday. We're going to send a message to the world that we are people who believe in democracy, we believe in freedom, we believe that people ought to be able to determine the future path for their own lives. And yes, that includes women, Mr. Trump. Look, let me say this. I want to express my personal gratitude to all of you for something else. 12 years ago, I came to you, many of you right here in this room, and asked you to give me a chance to be your voice in Washington, D.C. And we came together and you sent me to Washington. And I have been able to have this incredible experience, this incredible privilege of standing up for you, especially at those moments when we really needed our voices to be heard. So I just want to tell you, as I, at the end of the year, depart Congress, that it has been my honor and my privilege, and I am grateful that you gave me that incredible opportunity. However, let me say this. My name's not on the ballot, but I've got more at stake in this election than any other election that I've lived through in my lifetime. We have a choice to make as a country and as a people. And that choice for this country runs right through Michigan. We win Michigan, we win the White House. We win the 8th Congressional District, we win Michigan. We put up big numbers right here in Flint and Genesee County, and we win that district. So no pressure, my friends. It's all on you. We've got to knock every door. We got to make every phone call. All the work that's been done to this point, all the campaign ads and the fundraising and everything, simply sets us up for the next few days. The margin of error is actually the margin of effort. If we get out there and do the work over the next few days, we're going to deliver for this. We're going to deliver this district. We're going to deliver this state. We're going to deliver for future generations whose eyes will be on this moment as they study what we did at this time. In these few days, we've got a choice to make, and I think we're going to make the right decision. Are we going to build an economy that works for people at the top, the billionaires, or are we going to build an economy that works for everybody. What Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Democrats have been able to do is build an economy that has allowed us to bring back manufacturing jobs, to see the American experiment continue to move on its path forward. That's one choice. Or are we going to choose the path that lets extreme politicians rip away reproductive rights from millions of people, millions of women in this country? Are we going to let that happen? I can't hear you, Flint. Are we going to let that happen? Are we going to let these extreme Republicans take away something that is so precious, something that we now have had for the last decade or so, access to affordable health care? Are we going to let them take this away from us? No, we're not. We know in Flint, we know here in Genesee County, that when we come together, when we band together, there's nothing we can't do. And so what we have to do for the next few days, what we have to do now, is to make sure we have a government, starting from the White House, right down to every office, a government that is a reflection of the goodness of the people that we know we are. One of the things we can do as a part of all this is make sure, obviously, we elect Kamala Harris and my good buddy Tim Walz, who will be here soon, to Vice President and President of the United States. But we can't do it also without making sure Alyssa Slotkin is in the United States Senate, to continue the great work of Debbie Stabenow and to be a good partner for Gary Peters. But I also know this: when I decided to stand down, my wife and I made a decision 12 years ago that I was going to be in Congress for 10 years. So I kept the promise by staying for 12 years. But I knew when I made that decision to come home, to be with you full time, that I had to make sure that there was somebody who could step in and continue the work that you sent me to Washington to do. And we found somebody. I've known her for a long time. Kristen McDonald-Rivet is going to be a great United States representative. She and I campaigned side by side in 2022 when she flipped a Republican-held district. She's going to hold this district for us. Look, we have got our work cut out for us. Here's the challenge. Make sure you talk to everybody in your neighborhood, everybody in your family. Yes, even that crazy uncle where you don't know how he's going to vote yet. Talk to them about what's at stake. Make sure they understand that our children and our grandchildren are watching. And they're going to measure the decision that we make based on the lives that they will have. Do we want to promise them that we're going to protect their freedom? Do we want to promise them an economy that works for everybody? Do we want to promise them that we're going to safeguard our democracy, for God's sake? Our democracy is at stake. Are you with me on this? Are you with me on this? Let's go win on Tuesday. Thank you all.
Please welcome Senator Kristen McDonald-Rivet.
More than a little bit of cold to stop Michiganders from coming out to do what's right. It is awesome to be with all of you here today. My name is Kristen McDonald-Rivet, and I have lived in these communities my entire life. I was raised in mid-Michigan. My dad worked construction. Through the 1970s, construction was a little hard, right? We ate a lot of pancakes in the wintertime. But he raised me to believe and to know that hard work equals opportunity, and that opportunity should equal success. And so for a long time in Michigan, that was true. You could work really hard and get to the middle class, and you could stay there, and you could do it on one job. But then we turned our backs on labor. We stopped funding programs for our kids. We stopped talking to working men and women. Those days are over. Those days are over. We know that for Working people have to thrive. So this election is about that. I'm very proud to have been a part of a group of people in the Democratic majority in the Michigan State Senate that immediately upon taking the majority, the first thing we did was repeal right to work. And then we got rid of that unfair pension tax that were ushered in by Republicans. And then I authored the largest tax cut for working families in Michigan's history, because when I know what we need is more money in our pockets. I've helped move bills that make housing more affordable, lower the cost of prescription drugs, get a handle on the cost of childcare, and strengthen our schools, because that is what Democrats stand for. So, yeah, thank you. So as we head into the last 4 days, there are 2 people in my family that are on my mind. The first is my mother, who died 3 years ago from a very long, hard, she was in hospice the last 6 months of her life. And it was amazing caretakers that made sure she was okay. But also an absolute struggle to make sure that we could afford the prescription drugs that were keeping her alive, and often were running into $5,000 and $6,000 a month. That should not be a scenario for any person in this country. We have got to immediately, Congress has got to be able to pass some reform to make prescription drugs available to everyone who needs them. Thing number 1. And then lastly, you know, my husband and I, we have 6 kids, raised them all right here. And I think in this election, what really matters to most is I think about my 4 daughters, who standing here today have less rights than I did at their age. Now here in Michigan, we immediately got the signatures, went to the ballot, and made sure that we enshrined abortion rights in our Constitution. But we have Republican extremists all over this country who are dead set on stripping those rights away. We need only look to Georgia and Texas to know what can happen to a woman who does not have access to reproductive care. We also know in Michigan, a national abortion ban will trump the Michigan Constitution. And yes, I use that word deliberately. We cannot allow that to happen. We are seeing across the country, up and down the ballot, and right here in the 8th Congressional, my opponent has called abortion made-up rights. Said he would celebrate the day that Roe v. Wade was gone and has no exceptions for rape and incest. We cannot allow that to happen. So this year, 4 days from now, as the polls close at 8 o'clock, remember that our kids are on the ballot, our parents are on the ballot, and our daughters are on the ballot. We are so close, Flint, we are so close. And if Flint gets out to vote, we win. Because when we vote, we say it again, when we vote, all right, let's go get this done, you all.
Please welcome your U.S. Senator Gary Peters.
Now if you feel that you can't go home.
Oh my God, it is wonderful to be here in Flint. And all I have to say, are we ready to win? Are we fired up? We've got 4 days. What are we going to do the next 4 days? We're going to work. We're going to knock on doors. We're going to talk to our friends. We're going to get our neighbors out, and we will win. I'll tell you, you know, right now, the whole country is watching us here in Michigan. We know that we have the power to decide this race for the United States. So between now and Tuesday, it's up to us to send a message loud and clear that Michigan is a blue state, and we will elect Kamala Harris as the next president of the United States. You know, I've known Kamala for quite some time. In fact, I had the privilege of serving with her in the United States Senate. We actually came in together. We sat next to each other. We're like seatmates, kind of in the back of the room, you know, the new kids on the block, and had a chance to talk about all the other folks that are around us. We only had good things to say about the Democrats, let's be clear. The other side, I'm not so sure where that was. But I'm just so proud, not just to call her a colleague, but I had a chance to get to know her as a friend. And I will tell you, I saw firsthand the passion that she has for public service. The fact that she just wants to get things done. And I can tell you that Kamala Harris is strong. She is determined. She is smart. And she will bring to the Senate every day that joy and warmth that brings people together. We need someone to bring this country together, and Kamala Harris is going to do that. So, unfortunately, I also got to see her opponent. And I saw firsthand, as I'm sure all of you have, how Trump has torn this country apart. We've seen his lies, his hate, his bullying, and his chaos, and how he's left Michigan behind when he was president. Let's be clear about the numbers. When he was president, our state lost nearly 300,000 jobs. That is not a successful president. That is someone who has hurt us here in this state. In fact, 6 auto plants across the country closed, including here in Michigan. That is not a success. We are not going back. We are not going back. In fact, you know, he's more unstable than he was then. And just don't, you don't need to take it from me. I would just encourage, this is hard, but I would encourage, just watch one of his rallies. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes, it is unbelievable. But it's not just watching his rallies. You know, some of his closest advisors, the people that he hired to be in key positions in his administration, what have they said? They've said that would rule like a dictator if he gets in office again, that he will seek revenge for his political opponents. And one of them said, and I'm going to quote from him, "He is more dangerous than anyone I can imagine." And another one of his close advisors said, quote, "He puts himself before country, his actions are all about him, and they are not about the country." Well, folks, does that sound like the kind of person we want in the Oval Office? No! We do not want him in the Oval Office. So we are ready to turn the page on Donald Trump. In fact, if I remember, in 2020, the American people fired him, if I recall. Why would we rehire him when he's more unhinged now than he was then? So we're going to turn the page. We're going to elect Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris, we know what she will do for all of us. She is going to stand up for reproductive freedom for every woman in this country. She is going to take on the big corporations that have been gouging us and lower prices for every American. She's going to defend our democracy so that every voice counts and every voice is heard. And here in the wonderful great city of Flint, the city that gave us the modern union movement and remade the American middle class, I'm going to have to tell you that Kamala, she doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk. She has walked picket lines. She has stood shoulder to shoulder with men and women in unions. She understands when you have a strong union movement, you have a strong middle class, you have a strong democracy, and she will fight for union members all across this country. And we know that when unions are able to get better contracts and wages, everybody wins. Everybody wins with strong unions in this country. And I'll also say, and you're going to have a chance to meet someone who I also had a chance to serve with in the House. She just picked an amazing vice president in Governor Walz, and I can't wait to see him walk off this plane. You know, I think when I think about it, he's got a kind of background that, as Michiganders, we really appreciate. One, he's a down-to-earth guy, Midwest nice, that's who we are. But he also, let's remember, he served with honor and distinction in the Army National Guard for decades. A proud military background, willing to go into harm's way if necessary. He was also a card-carrying union member as well. He knows unions. And like me, he loves hunting. In fact, he just went pheasant hunting. I gotta tell him, we got a lot of pheasant here in Michigan. Come to Michigan and hunt with us. He also loves football as a coach. And I'll say, you know, the one difference that we have with Michigan, with him though, is that I don't know if he totally agrees with this, but we do love our Detroit Lions right now. We love them. So despite that difference, we love Tim Walz. And we got to get out and vote. But I just say in closing here, don't just come to this rally. Thank you for being here. But then in the next 2 days, go out and work. Take a volunteer shift. Talk to friends. This is going to be a very razor-close election. But when we do everything, when we leave nothing on the field, when Election Day is over and we're sitting in our living room watching the results, just put this image in your mind. This is what's going to happen. And it's because you worked your tail off over these next few days. It's going to flash on the screen that Michigan is blue. We've elected Kamala Harris. We've elected Alyssa Slotkin to the United States Senate. And we have saved democracy in this country. Michigan, we will do that.
Please welcome your U.S. Senator, Debbie Stabenow.
Colors on the street, red, white, and blue. People shuffling their feet, people sleeping in their shoes. There's a warning sign.
It is so wonderful to be in Flint as usual. Go Flint, go Genesee County, go Michigan. I am so glad you are here. I have had the honor of representing all of you in the United States Senate. It's been the honor of my life, and I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for letting me do that. But I am so ready for this election. Are you? You know, I'm excited. We're going to hear from our next Vice President, Tim Walz, who actually knows where the Great Lakes are. He actually is a member of our Great Lakes Coalition, and we're so excited that he's going to be our Vice President. But I'm also so ready to elect Alyssa Slotkin as our next United States Senator. And I am so ready to elect Kristen McDonald-Rivet as our next Congresswoman. And I am so ready to make sure that the Michigan House of Representatives stays blue and that we are electing Democrats up and down the ballot, right? And make sure that you're telling folks to turn that ballot over, because I'm very excited and it's very important to vote for Michigan Supreme Court Justices Kyra Bolden, Kimberly Thomas. We need justices who will protect our freedoms. That's what we need. Michigan Supreme Court, we know what happens when we don't pay attention to the courts, and look what Donald Trump did. So this is important in Michigan, to remember our Supreme Court. And I'm so ready to elect Kamala Harris as our next president of the United States. This is exciting. This is exciting. I was so honored to have a chance to get to know Kamala as a friend in the United States Senate and to see her up close and what she cares about. As a member of the Senate leadership, we always bring new senators in, and when Senator Harris came in to meet with us about what her priorities were, I'll never forget that the first thing she said was, I think we should focus on the things that keep families up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, their house, their job, are they going to be able to afford to feed the kids and have health care and so on? We need to focus on those things. And you know what? That's what she does. And that's what she will do as the next president of the United States. That's what she will do for all of us. And I have to tell you, I don't know about you, but I am so tired of having to put the TV on mute when my grandkids are with me because Donald Trump is speaking. I am so exhausted. Aren't you exhausted? We do not need 4 more years of this. We can't take 4 more years of this. It's time to turn the page. And the truth is, we deserve better. Our kids deserve better. Our grandkids deserve better. Our country deserves better. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz love our country. I don't want a president who calls us names and talks about garbage pit. I mean, I don't even want to go into everything he says. We don't need why would you want to elect a president that disrespects everybody, disrespects you and what you do, and disrespects our state, and disrespects the whole country? Why would we want to elect someone? You know what? We don't. We don't want to elect someone. And we're not going to elect someone because Kamala Harris and Tim Walz love our country. They love America. They're going to always stand up for our freedoms. They're going to stand up to the powerful on our behalf to bring down costs. They're going to stay focused on growing the middle class of this country and jobs. And you know what? That's what we do in Michigan. That's what we do, is create jobs in Michigan. Bottom line, we just need to tell our family and friends that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz care about us. They care about you. Donald Trump and his JV only care about themselves. And that's the truth. They only care about themselves. So, you know this. Everybody's going to say it. But this is go time. This is go time, Flint. This is go time, Genesee County. This is go time, Michigan. This is time to get it done. You know, everything is on the line. If you haven't voted yet, go vote today. If your family and friends have not voted yet, go vote today. Reach out to people that you know, maybe friends you haven't been in touch with for a long time. Hey, how you doing? It is time to reach out to everyone that you can, because our future really is on the line. Our future is on the line for our families. I've lived in Michigan my whole life. There's nothing more important to me. My family's here. I care deeply about what happens here for us. And everything is on the line. And so we're going to tell folks, we're going to make it blue in Michigan, and we're going to let folks know we're not going back. 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 So let's go win.
Please welcome your Congressperson, Alyssa Slotkin.
It's Mr. Worldwide with the one and only Dolly Parton. And this is dedicated to all my powerful women working 9 to 5, 2, 3 jobs. survive. I'm a powerful women. No man at home, raising all the kids alone. I'm a powerful women. Y'all
Hi,
deserve a
everybody.
throne.
Okay, you've been out here for a while. He's on his way. Thank you for being here today. I'm Melissa Slotkin. I am honored to be your nominee to be your next senator, replacing Debbie Stabenow, the great Debbie Stabenow. It is awesome to be here with such a short time left. Are we all in agreement that Michigan is the center of the political universe? I mean, if you haven't noticed, everyone wants to come and see what real Michiganders in their natural habitat are really thinking and talking about. And that's because we are the home of the swing voters, the independent voters. We have urban, rural, suburban, we've got it all. If you can make it work in Michigan, you can make it work anywhere in the country. And that's what we're gonna show people here in what we say in military circles, 3 days and a wake up. That's what we've got, 3 days and a wake up. Okay, it's especially important to be here in Flint because we know you all literally helped create the modern union movement, right? The whole world gets to thank you for that. But it's important about how the issues of manufacturing and supply chains and good union jobs have become central in this election, right? For the top of the ticket, for electing Kamala Harris, for my race against Mike Rogers, and all the way on down the line. And I just want to say a couple of things because I think there's some really stark differences on approach when it comes to one side versus the other side, right? One side says they care about infrastructure, the other one actually invests, and we have 400 infrastructure projects going on right now in our state. One side says they care about manufacturing and bringing good jobs back from places like China. The other one actually does it, puts their money where their mouth is, and we've got 44 new factories being built from the ground up in the state of Michigan after 40 years of nothing. And take it from me, I represent Lansing, where the issue of particularly Lansing Grand River, UAW 652, has become a flashpoint across Michigan. Do we convert that into a facility that's going to make the next generation of vehicles, or are we just going to let it wither on the vine, right? No, no. We're going to invest in building that next generation of vehicles, and I don't care what you drive. If you want to drive a gas-powered vehicle, you want to drive a hybrid, you want to drive an EV, who cares? Drive what you want to drive. But if the question is who wants to make that next generation of vehicles, that is us, damn it. That is us. That is Michigan, that is the United States of America, and I absolutely refuse that retreating approach, which is, well, China's eating our lunch on these vehicles. They're woke vehicles, so we should just let China make the next generation of vehicles. No, we're not going to do that, right? And we've got to acknowledge to ourselves that we've often missed some of these trends, right? Remember in the 70s and 80s, we had our big cars, and these little Japanese cars came in, and Korean cars came in, and we're like, no one will want to drive those little things. And we missed it, and we've never made up market share. So I am not going to do that with this next generation of vehicles. We're going to make them with American workers, with UAW members here in America. And every time the other side of the aisle, including Mike Rogers, the guy I'm running against, every time he complains about supporting that transition, putting our money where our mouth is, right? And he complains about support going to places like GM or Ford or all these things. They happen to miss every single time an important part of the story, which was the $465 million that went to Elon Musk to help start Tesla up, right? 465 million US taxpayer dollars went to Elon Musk in 2010 to help build up that part of the electric vehicle market. But now somehow they only want to focus on Detroit. They only want to focus on Michigan. They have a problem with that, but have no problem giving money to the guy out in California. No, that is not the way the world works. So thank you for standing up for American manufacturing. Thank you for caring about your country and your community. I want to say one last thing, and then we'll go on here. You know, I'm a former national security person by training, right? Before 2016, I was honestly mostly apolitical. I had never been to a rally like this. I had never been to a big political event. In national security, you work alongside someone in a place like Baghdad. You have no idea how they vote. You don't care. Why do I care how you vote? All I care about, if we're going on a dangerous convoy, are you rested? Are you alert? Have you cleaned your weapon? That's what I care about, not whether you vote one way or the other. I want you all in this election to wear your patriotism on your sleeve. You are here because you care about your country and you know it can be better. You believe in this country. That's why you're here in the middle of the day when you could be anywhere else. And don't give an inch, not a single damn inch, to the other side of the aisle, some of them who wrap themselves in the flag and then spit on the very values that it represents. Don't give an inch to them, not a single inch. Thank you. Thank you for caring about your country. Thank you for your support. Have a good rest of the day. Goodbye.
Please welcome actor Mark Ruffalo.
I consider you can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I lay 'em, but you won't take the sting out these words before I say 'em. 'Cause ain't no way I'm gonna let you stop me from causing mayhem. When I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. I don't give a damn what you think. I'm doing this for me. So the world feed
Hey,
me.
Flint, Michigan. That's right. This is where it all started. So it's good to see you all here today, and I'm honored to be here with you today. My name is Mark Ruffalo. I moonlight as an actor, and activism is my day job. So today I'm here to help get Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House. I was in Pennsylvania a few days ago, and the energy was insane. It was vibing, and we're all out there. All of us are out there doing our part, coming together and getting Democrats and independents and Republicans to the polls. Now, Kamala Harris is offering a bright future for our country. She's young. She is a person of color. She is a woman. She has fresh ideas. She is whip smart. She doesn't lie her ass off. And her vision for America is for all Americans. Now, in contrast, Donald Trump and his cronies of goofy billionaire boyfriends, they're just the opposite. They got nothing but downer news and downer ideas. If they were a boys band, they would be Downer Donald and the Despairs. I mean, he sows seeds of hatred. I mean, did you see those fools at their Madison Square Garden rally? Boo! Double boo! Hiss! Man, what a drag! Talk about making someone feel unwelcome. Trump-publicans and the party of Trump make us feel unwelcome. They are the party of unwelcome. They're a little tent party. You know, they're not even really any kind of party. They ain't even a party. They're just a downer event. And what happens to downers? They go down. It's time to get up, America. It's time to get up and get down with democracy and down with Donald Trump and Trumpism. Who wants 4 more years of that kind of garbage? I mean, who wants 4 more years of what they're selling us? It's hatred, it's division, it's loss, it's despair, it's a drag, it's a downer. And we ain't going back, no way. We ain't going back. And that's just the truth of things. And no matter how hard they want to take you back, you just can't go back. And we did it once. It sucked. Understatement. How bad did it suck? Real bad. I mean, he tried to get us to inject bleach in our veins. He wanted us to stick light bulbs up our... He tried to enforce a Muslim ban, like his great big idea, first thing he does when he gets in office. He shuts down our government, costing us billions of dollars, putting so many people out of work. He sparked an uptick in hate crimes. Murder went up in 2020, being the highest uptick in murder on record. America suffered over 1,700 mass shootings. When Hurricane Maria hit, this fool delayed $20 billion of aid and let Puerto Rico go without power for 181 days. This is the shit we forget. It was a nightmare. We don't remember this because it was a nightmare. We don't want to remember the bad. We're not going back. This is a man who said there's very fine people among the packed house of Nazis in Charlottesville. You want to talk about anti-Semitism? Let's talk about anti-Semitism. The Nazis love Trump, okay? They love him. We don't love Nazis. We hate Nazis. Okay? We're against Nazis, right? I mean, we can agree on that. We are the party of love. This is a love fest. We got every kind, look here, we got every kind of person out here, man. You're beautiful. We got black people, we got white people, we got brown people, we got Asian people, we got Latino people, we got white people, we got old people, we got young people, we got me, we don't know what I am. I'm from all over the place. Now, this is the dude who proudly appointed 3 Supreme Court judges he knew would overturn Roe versus Wade. They're not dragging us back, man. We're not going back. We're not going back. Donald Trump, we're not going back. His stupid anti-science and love of conspiracy theories led to 3,000 people dying a week of COVID. That's a 9/11 daily. That's some dark stuff, man. That's what he wants to bring us back to. He lost us 2.9 million American jobs during his presidency, the highest of any president in history. This is what we got to remember. This is what we're forgetting. He had his impeachments, his 2020 campaign lies, the insurrection, the stealing of state secrets and leaving them in his bathroom at the Trump Holiday Inn in Mar-a-Lago. Who does that, man? What kind of an idiot does that? And it goes on and on and on, not to mention raping and admittedly and proudly molesting women. Lock him up. You know what? We ain't going back, dude. We're not coming. You're not taking us back. We're not going back. I urge you all to check out Robert Reich's Substack newsletter for 101 reasons not to go back to Trump again. He published that today. 101 reasons. I read you 10. His Project 2025 agenda is truly insane, deporting 20 million hardworking, tax-paying immigrants. These people pay taxes. We're talking trillions of dollars worth of taxes coming into our country. It's going to cost $3 billion to send them away. And it's going to cost our economy trillions of dollars. Who's going to pay for that? Is that what Elon Musk means when he says we're going to have to suffer when Donald Trump comes into office economically? Who's going to pay for that? He wants to outlaw protest. What's going to happen when he puts forth all these crazy ideas he has and we can't go on the streets to protest it? They know what's happening. Their Project 2025 is coming after women because they see women becoming powerful. They see women leading. So they want you to go back to the 50s where you're stuck in a kitchen, made to have children that you don't want to have, and have to support them, And whose back is that going to fall on? Yours. And by the way, young men out there, who's going to pay for those babies? Where the hell are you? Come on, man. A real man stands up for the women. You think you're macho? When 6% of you today won't tell your wives that you're voting for Kamala, you're scared to death. Be a man. Stand up for what's right. Talking about how you're the man, how you're the alpha man, how you have more testosterone. Come on, bro. That's somebody who's just scared they ain't a man. He wants to shut down the public education system. Jesus Christ. What are we going to do when we have nowhere to send our kids? When you have to pay $60,000, $70,000 a year to get them an education? What are we going to do? We want to make abortion illegal nationally, get rid of the National Oceanic Atmosphere Administration, which is how we prepare for the kind of super hurricanes that just pummeled Florida. I mean, we can't afford 4 more years of this shit. I'm sorry. We can't afford it. For climate change, we're right there. We're at the end. This is it. This is the last moment. This is it. We got to come together. We can't be fighting against some dimwits who want to go to Mars, who suddenly don't remember climate change. Oh, just forgot about it. Elon Musk wants to take your billions of dollars in tax funds to go start his little empire on Mars, and he knows that the Democrats won't let him do it, and that's why he jumped into the arms of his new boyfriend, Donald Trump. That's what that's about. Jumping around like a dipshit. Okay, we're for protecting women's health care. Kamala's for protecting. She fires us up. No matter what issue you're into, she's got an answer for. She's on the right side of it. She's got that wisdom that only. She's got a black woman wisdom. I'm not going to say that's the only wisdom, but that's a special kind of wisdom. That's a kind of wisdom that comes from the grace of being part of an awful part of American history that is painful. And they have to learn to survive in that generation after generation. That gives you a grace, that gives you a humility, that gives you a compassion. That has to be, we have to think about that. We have to honor it. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's better than anyone, but there's something to be learned from that. Just like there's something to be learned from every different kind of people that make up America, this beautiful country. The only person who's not an immigrant in this country are the Native Americans. And they're so sweet with a kind of grace and gentility. And they see all of us in relationship to one another. Those are the ideals that America was built on. America was built on the Native American political structure. And by the way, the women were in charge. The women were equal. The women had vetoing power over any official. They were as equal to the men at making decisions. Anyway, she's on the right side of all that. Protecting women's health care and giving every American the reproductive rights they deserve. Kamala is the only choice. For fighting back against climate change and leaving our kids a world where they can breathe clean air and drink clean water. Kamala is the only choice. Dude, Trump wants to roll back the PFAS regulations that you know what water is. Michigan knows what water is. You know how important it is. We got to protect that. Project 2025 wants to get rid of all the scientists and put his lackeys, his lickspittles, in all those political positions. We can't let him do that. No, we cannot. Kamala's the only choice. Now I want to bring up something that's very difficult. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Kamala Harris and where she stands on Gaza and Israel. This country is hurting deeply over this issue. And our Arab and Jewish communities are hurting. And there's no way that we will ever have a lasting peace or heal this hurt by dropping bombs on women and children and starving them to death. The way we are doing it now, I think we could all agree, no matter who you are, it's just not working. The images we're seeing coming out of that part of the world, they're heartbreaking. We shouldn't be seeing those kind of images, not from one of our allies. It creates a really troubling and conflicting sense of who we are and what our morals are and who we are in the world as Americans, no matter where you stand on it. And it's a very difficult issue, and I see all sides of it. I have a lot of compassion for this issue. The way we're doing it now just isn't working. It's tearing us apart. And it's my belief that Kamala means it when she says that every Palestinian has the right to self-determination. She means that. And that Israel and Palestine have a right to share the same shared security. And yes, we have to bring the hostages home, and we have to stop the killing, and we have to stop the starvation, and we have to stop the expansion of another war because we know it doesn't work. We've seen it again and again. These wars don't mean shit. They don't bring us anything. They kill our kids. They drain the money from our communities. It has to be a just war. It has to be a clearly just war if you're going to fight a war. And I believe that it means it when she's going to reach for a two-state solution. She's our only choice, folks. And we need a leader who believes these things to bring people together through peace. We're not going to bomb our way into a better future. It ain't going to happen. So, for turning the page on Donald Trump's politics of hate, and building a more perfect democracy with every citizen being important to it, Kamala is the only choice. Now, all of us here are going to help decide this election. Who we touch are going to decide this election. We got to go out in 3s and 4s to decide this election. We got to fight to the bitter end to decide this election. I mean, get your groove on, because this is cool. This is now. We're badasses. We are going to change the United States. We're going to put a young black woman in the office, and we are going to make this country everything it's promised to be. We got all the ideas here. We got all the different people, all the different languages, all the different races, all the different beliefs, all the different love. We got all the love. And it's love that makes America great. It's love that brings us together. It's love. We can't forget the love. It's about love. And the storm clouds on the horizon are trying to make us think that love isn't here anymore, that it doesn't mean anything. Don't fall for it. It's the illusion. It's the illusion. So, I believe in Michigan, man. I was here. I saw what happened with Flint. I saw how you got by. You did that without the help of anybody. The community came together and did that. That was community care. You didn't get any help from anybody. And you did that. It was beautiful. It's what America's about. So let's make Kamala Harris the next president of the United States. Right? Thank you, Flint. Get out there. Let's get up. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're only going forward. 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 Thank you.
Oh, snap, Flint! Y'all make some noise for the Mr. Mean Green himself. What's up, Mark? Y'all ready to see your future vice president? I said, are you ready to see your future vice president? It is me, your boy, your man, DJ Romeo Million, up here on the ones and twos. What's up, Flint, Michigan? That's right, y'all. Get out there Tuesday, November the 5th, this upcoming Tuesday. We trying to elect our next president, Miss Kamala Harris, as your president of the United States. What's up, Flint, Michigan? Nah, y'all could do better than that. I said, what's up, Flint, Michigan? It is me, your boy, your man's DJ Romeo Million, up here on the ones and twos. Are we ready to vote this Tuesday, November the 5th? Oh, that's what I like to hear. But today we are here to see your Governor Tim Walz, as he come out. He is running for Vice President of the United States. Can y'all make some noise for Mr. Tim Walz? He will be here shortly. Wheels will be down shortly. What's up, ladies? What's up, gentlemen? Come on, come on.
Where did you come from, baby? And ooh, won't you take me there? Right away, won't you, baby? Tenderoni, you got to be. Spark my need, just sugar fly with me. Don't you know now is the perfect time? We can make it right near the city lights. In the night, he's the love and pain. Let me take it to the max. I want to love you. Pretty young thing, you need some loving. Turn the love and care, and I'll take it there.
Yeah, Flint, Michigan.
Cool the fire, yearning, honey, come set me free.
Don't you know?
Now
Hey.
is the perfect time. We can dim the lights just to make it right in the night. Hit the love spot.
Let me hear y'all, ladies. Where's all my pretty young things?
I want to love you.
Come on, pretty young things.
You need some love.
Hey, to the love and care. I see you down there. I want to. Thank you for everybody for coming out today. What's up, Michigan? Ha, ha, ha. Let me see those signs up. What's up, Flint? What's up, Flint? Down, 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 down. Hey, hey. Where's all my pretty ladies at? Repeat after me, y'all. Nah, nah, nah. Hey, PYT. Oh, don't hurt her now. Don't hurt her now. I see you, mama. Come on. I want to. That's right, y'all. Let's be your boy, your man. DJ Romeo, Million, up on the ones and twos. Y'all make some noise for your future vice president. I see the plane right there. What's up, Mr. Tim Walls?
It's bad bitch o'clock, yeah, it's thick 30. I've been through a lot, but I'm still flirty. Is everybody back up in the building? It's been a minute, tell me how you're healing. Cause I'm about to get into my feelings. How you feeling? How you feel right now? Oh, I've been so down and under pressure. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Bitch, I might be better. Turn up the music, turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright, okay, alright. It's about damn time. Turn up the music, let's celebrate. I got a feeling I'm gonna be okay, alright. It's about damn time. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. Feeling fussy, walking in my Balenciennes, trying to bring out the fabulous. Cause I give up way too much. I'ma need like 2 shots in my cup. Wanna get up, wanna get down. That's how I feel right now. Oh, I've been so down and under pressure. I'm way too fine to be distressed, yeah. Oh, I'm not the girl I was or used to be. Bitch, I might be better. Turn up the music, turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright, okay, alright. It's about damn time. Turn up the music, let's celebrate. I got a feeling I'm gonna be okay, alright. It's about damn time, bitch. Cause you know what time it is. I'm coming out tonight. 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 Okay. Alright. It's about just melt away. Now everybody asks me why I'm smiling out from ear to ear. But I know nothing's perfect, but it's worth it after fighting through my tears. And finally you put me first. Baby, it's you. You're the one I love. You're the one I need. You're the only one I see. Come on, baby, it's you. You're the one that gives your all. You're the one I can always call when I need to make everything stop. Finally, you put my love on top. Oh, come on, baby. You put my love on top, 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 top. You put my love on top. Oh, come on, baby. You put my love on top, 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 top. My love on top. Baby, I can hear the wind whipping past my face as we dance the night away. And boy, your lips taste like the night of champagne as I kiss you again and again and again and again. Now everybody asks me why I'm smiling out from ear to ear. But I know nothing's perfect, but it's worth it after fighting through my tears. And finally you put me first. Baby, it's you. You're the one I love. You're the one I need. You're the only one I see. Come on, baby, it's you. You're the one that gives your all. You're the one I can always call when I need to make everything stop. Finally, you put my love on top. Oh, baby, you put my love on top, 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 top. You put my love on top. Oh, come on, baby, you put my love on top, 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 top. My love on top. Baby, it's you. You're the one I love. You're the one I need. You're the only thing I see.
Please welcome your governor, Gretchen Whitmer.
Hey, on behalf of
Primo
Detroit,
Beats on the chat.
hey, we want to present these buffs to our governor,
Hey,
Big Gretch.
throw her buffs on her face, cause that's Big Gretch. We ain't even about to stress. We got Big Gretch. You can find her in the press under Big Gretch.
Real.
Fresh in a new dress. Yeah, that's Big Gretch. Throw her buffs on her face, cause that's Big Gretch. We ain't even about to stress. We got Big Gretch.
Oh.
You can find her in the press under Big Gretch.
Look her up.
Fresh in a new dress. Yeah, that's
Hello, Flint! Who is excited to be here with our next Vice President, Tim Walz? All right, my friends, we know there are only 4 days left until this election, right? 4 days left to do everything that we can. 4 days left to make sure that this country enters a chapter that provides a better future. 4 days left to win this damn thing. Are you ready? Together, let's turn the page and chart a new way forward with Kamala Harris. You know, she and my friend Tim have been getting all across the country, laying out the stakes of this election. And we know we have a stark choice in front of us. The choice is a guy who took our rights away, or the woman who's fighting hard to protect us and get them back for us. Someone who wants to check names off of his enemies list, or a woman with a to-do list. The divider-in-chief who wants to tear us apart and denigrate his fellow Americans, or the future commander-in-chief who will protect and defend every one of us and our freedoms. The choice is clear. We're moving forward with Kamala Harris, and we're not going back. As president, I know that Kamala Harris will work across the aisle to get things done. She and Tim will stay focused on the kitchen table issues that make a real difference in our lives. They propose real plans to lower costs, to grow our economy, and to protect our freedoms. From building 3 million homes to tax relief for 100 million working and middle-class families, to in-home care for our seniors on Medicare, to protections for women's, workers, and LGBTQ plus rights. And you know why they're fighting for us? Because they've lived lives like ours. We know that Donald Trump doesn't get it at all. You think he's ever used coupons? You think he's ever rushed out the door to drive carpool? Oh, hell no. You know he doesn't even have a driver's license. You don't need one when you're chauffeured your whole life. You think he's ever shoveled a neighbor's driveway? Y'all know he doesn't own a shovel either, right? Listen, I'm supporting Vice President Harris and Governor Walz not only because they understand us, but also because they will bring decades of experience and integrity to the White House. There's no learning curve for these two. They will hit the ground running on day one and they will get shit done. They understand that the future of our economy is at stake. And that's why, as Vice President, Kamala Harris helped pass bipartisan legislation creating good-paying jobs right here in Michigan. Today, there are more auto workers than when Trump was president. Yeah. Labor force participation is at a 15-year high, construction jobs at a 22-year high, and total employment, the number of Michiganders working, is at a 23-year high. We are fixing more of the damn roads than ever. We're creating and protecting thousands of good-paying, middle-class factory jobs all across the state of Michigan. And all this work ultimately is about you and your family. We want Michiganders to be able to go home at the end of the day, tuck their kids in at night, go to sleep knowing that their family is going to be okay, that they make enough to have a safe and secure retirement. And while we're headed in the right direction, and I'm proud of how far we've come in the last 4 years, we certainly have got more good work to do. And when we face serious problems, and we will, we know that there is going to be some sort of crisis that we are going to have to confront. We will need a serious commander-in-chief like Kamala Harris. We don't need someone who talks a big game but doesn't deliver. You know who said he'd create jobs, but the truth is, we lost 280,000 jobs when Trump was president. He said not one auto plant would close. Well, he was right. 6 closed. He said he'd make healthcare cheaper, but all he tried to do was repeal Obamacare, and let's be glad he was a failure at that too. We cannot afford another Donald Trump presidency. As president, he cut taxes for the wealthiest among us. And I ain't talking about anyone in this hangar. In a second term, he's going to be worse. He made it easier for people and companies to cut corners, screw workers, and pollute our air and water. Not only does he say he's going to cut taxes for the wealthy again, but he wants to enact a national sales tax on the rest of us. $4,000. That's how much more it's going to cost the average person in this country if he gets back into office. And on top of bad policy, I want to talk about his dangerous rhetoric. As someone who's been the target of it, I know only too well that words have consequences. The ugliness that he promotes. He wants to end qualified immunity for police, putting our families and communities and law enforcement officers at risk. He wants to go after the enemy from within and prosecute his political opponents. He trashed the city of Detroit and auto workers. And he and his buddy, J.D. Vance, want to pursue a national abortion ban. I thought Michigan had spoken on that issue 2 years ago. Well, guess what? We got to speak again in this election, and it's talking about abortion rights as well as everything else on this ballot. Picking a president is about policy, but we also know it is about character. A president's actions impact people's lives, for better or worse. And a president's words can change the way we feel about ourselves, about our communities, about our country, about our future. We deserve a president who embodies the values we try to pass on to our children. You work hard, you tell the truth, and you get shit done. We don't need a con artist, a bully in the White House. We don't need a guy who thinks that he knows better about our bodies than we do. No, sir. We can argue about policy, but we deserve a commander-in-chief that has real plans, that tells the truth, that represents all Americans, no matter who they are or who they voted for. And that one and only candidate is Kamala Harris. So you're here today because you know the stakes of the election, but not everyone does. So we've got work to do in these last 4 days. What really changes people's minds or gets them to turn out is when they hear from you. All the money on television, all the rallies pale in comparison to a fellow American, a fellow Michigander, a fellow coworker or parishioner, or someone in your neighborhood or family who talks to you and asks you what's important and tells you why Kamala Harris is the candidate for you. We've got to show up and do this work every minute we can between now and this election, because the real power is not in the pockets of lobbyists. It is in the people. So here's my ask of you. Take care of yourself in these next 4 days. Hydrate yourself. Caffeinate yourself. And if you run across a vegetable, eat the damn thing. The kids are going to be okay if they eat pizza every night from now till this election. But they won't be if we don't turn it out for Kamala Harris in this election. So, are you ready to knock some doors? Are you ready to get out the vote? Are you ready to win this thing? All right, Flint, I love you. And with that, it is my honor to hand the microphone over to one of my good friends, Pastor Alan Overton of Christ Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church.
Like a fool, I went and stayed too long. I'm wondering if your love's still strong. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Here I am, baby.
Good afternoon. My name is Pastor Alan C. Overton Sr. I am the proud pastor of the Christ Fellowship Missionary Baptist Church, and I am a proud son of Flint, Michigan. As a pastor, I've seen a lot of elections come and go. I've supported a lot of candidates who I thought would help our community move forward. I've also spoken out against many who I thought would harm our community. In some ways, this election is familiar and has a familiar choice. And I do believe that Flint is going to reject the failed policies of Donald Trump and send Madam President Kamala Harris to the White House. But my friends, we also know that this is not a normal election. We know that this is more than just about partisan differences. This is about the values that stitch our communities together, those that lay the foundation of our faith. Values like living in fellowship with one another. Values like seeking justice for the oppressed. Values like treating the stranger that walks among us with compassion and respect. Values simply as just simply telling the truth, no matter how tough it may be. In Donald Trump, we have a man who casts these values aside. In Kamala Harris, we have someone who lives by them every single day. So these next few days, we all have to make some choices ourselves. Do we want our leaders to answer to the rich and the poor? Or do we want leaders who will stand up for the people in our communities every day? Do we want to demean our neighbors who don't look like us, sound like us, come from where we come from? Or will we carry on the work that our forebears began in pursuit of justice, equality, and civil rights? My friends, do you want to surrender to the policies of hate and division, or will we chart a new path that brings our country together? You know, I was raised in this community. I have seen what we stand for, and I know that on Tuesday night, Flint will choose to fight for a better future for this country. Because I'm a preacher, in the Bible, Psalms tells us, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Let me explain. It is God's way of saying that no suffering is permanent, no hate is too strong for us to overcome, that the sunlight will soon come, no matter how dark it may seem. But I think we need to choose it and begin to fight for it. And here to tell us a bit more about the choice, we have today our very honored guest, a father, a veteran, a lifelong Midwesterner, and the next Vice President of the United States of America. Will you help me welcome my friend and a soon-to-be Vice President? Please welcome him to the stage, Governor Tim Walz.
Well, hello, Flint. One thing I do know is governors, and you've got a hell of a governor in Michigan. Can I say that? To Senator Peters and Stabenow, thank you on behalf of the whole country for the work that you do. Michigan, you know the assignment. There's several things going on here. Alyssa Slotkin needs to go to Washington. Make sure that happens. And I've had the privilege of serving with someone I consider a dear friend, an incredible member of Congress, Dan Kildee. Thank you, my friend. Hard to replace him, but I think you found somebody to do it. Kristen McDonald-Rivett, make sure she gets there. Make sure they get him there. Mayor Neely, thank you for having me in this incredible community. And Pastor Overson, the words that he spoke, that we know what we have to do. We got 4 days to get that work done, people. Let's get her done. Now, to all of you, thank you. Thank you for coming out. Look, anywhere else I would thank you for coming out in the cold, but for God's sakes, we're Midwesterners. It snowed in Minneapolis yesterday, so we're ready to go. But you came out for a simple reason. You love this country and you know there's work to be done, so thank you for that. Well, 4 days. We're down to about 100 hours on this thing. This next 100 or so hours in the work we do will shape not just the next 4 years, but the next generation. Hard to believe, but there's still a few folks out there with their minds aren't quite made up. Now, you've heard this from folks. I know you have. Well, I really don't like Donald Trump personally and the things he does. And then you're like, oh, really? You know, we've seen that. But then they follow up, but things were good when he was president. The economy was good. Little fuzzy in how they remember things. So let's just level set here before we understand what's at stake. During Donald Trump's presidency, this country lost 2.7 million jobs, 280,000 in Michigan alone. Unemployment was up, and Donald Trump so botched the pandemic response that we were in Hunger Games with our neighbors to find toilet paper. That was Donald Trump's lack of leadership. But look, if you were a billionaire 4 years ago, like Elon Musk, you did pretty well because you got the Trump tax cut that went right to you. All the rest of us, we got squat out of the deal. Now, you remember a couple months back, they got caught on tape, Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They were laughing how fun it would be if workers went on strike just to fire them. That's how they think about it. But now it gets worse, and you need to know what's at stake. I think this group knows. I know this is preaching to the choir, but our recital's 4 days away, people, 4 days away. So now he wants to put Musk in charge of being the economy czar for all of us. Now, Elon says the only way to make this economy work is to crash it, to take it down. And he warned you, though, Americans, this was Elon in his own words, Americans are going to have to be prepared for some hardship. So I would ask all of you, what in the hell does a billionaire know about hardship? These damn people. And then he's talking about $2 trillion of cuts, because that's how we have to make the budget balance, even though Donald Trump called himself the king of debt and drove up the national debt higher than any other president ever has. But Elon says we have to cut $2 trillion. Now, he may be bad at math. We know Donald's bad at math. But to let you know what $2 trillion is, all of the discretionary spending that our government makes in a year is $1.6 trillion. So you're starting to get the math. To get to $2 trillion cuts, you got to go after two things. You got to cut Social Security and you got to cut Medicare. Just so we heard them, J.D. Vance said, we're going to have to cut Social Security. And Speaker Johnson this week said, when Donald Trump wins and they're in charge, there will be no more Obamacare. Getting rid of the ACA means getting rid of the protections for pre-existing conditions, just to be clear. If you're a woman, you have asthma, you've been sick before you had anything, insurance companies make the decisions, not you. Now look, Donald Trump did say he had a plan. No, he didn't. He said he had a concept of a plan. Concept of a plan. And he and the Republicans tried over 60 times to get rid of the ACA. Had it not been the courage of John McCain, they would have succeeded. It's that simple. Might be why John McCain's son is endorsing Kamala Harris for president, too. But look, Donald's not spending any time thinking about ways to make your life easier. In fact, he's not thinking about you at all. Now, look, 4 days. You had enough of this. You've seen a few ads in Michigan, I would guess. You've seen a lot of folks coming through, but hopefully they come and stand in front of you in Flint and tell you what they're going to do. But be clear about this. If you're feeling anxiety or you're feeling stressed or you're worried about this, there is an antidote to that. Go out and vote for Kamala Harris. Instead of wringing your hands, go ring some doorbells for some people. Make a difference. Look, voting for her works. I had the opportunity last week to cast my vote, and I went to the polls with my newly turned 18-year-old son, Gus, who cast his vote. He knew it. You know it. We've got a chance to elect a new generation of leadership. We've got an opportunity here under Kamala Harris in Michigan alone, in conjunction with your governor and your senators, created over 400,000 new jobs. It's a new way forward, and you saw her. You saw what a president looked like earlier this week on the National Mall. And she promised you, and she said, on the first day in the White House, She will go with a to-do list. Donald Trump has told us he will go with an enemies list. And each day he adds names to it, just to be clear. Top of her list, lowering the cost of things for you and your families right off the bat. That's got to be a top priority, putting more money back in your pockets. She will go with that sense of purpose every single day. She has talked about this and will implement it. 37 states have it, but we need it federally. A price gouging ban that makes sure companies can't take advantage of us. Quick primer on what that means. I was with a farmer yesterday in Erie, Pennsylvania, and I said, "What are you getting for corn?" He said, "Oh, about $4.10 a bushel." And I said, "So when grocery prices were cheaper years ago, what were you getting for a bushel of corn?" "About $4.10 a bushel." They're not making any more. You're paying more. Corporate profits have shot through the roof. That's where the issue is, and a national price gouging ban will put more money back into your pockets. That's how it works. Under a President Harris's plan, 100 million middle-class Americans will see a tax cut. No one making $400,000 or less will see any increase in their taxes. That is everybody pretty much I've ever known in my life is where it works. And the biggest impact will be a $6,000 child tax credit in the first year of a child's life, so you can buy the crib, buy the car seat, buy the clothes, get the things done. And extending that cap on insulin for $35 now is capped for seniors, extending that to all Americans who need insulin to protect their lives. Second price gouging primer. Before we put a cap of $35, they were selling it for $800 for one of those little vials. Cost $5 to make it, just so we know how this works. And then she proposed a plan for many of us. And for those of you with less hair or gray hair, you get this. Young people, trust me on this. When you turn 60, you start paying a lot of attention to Medicare. You start paying a lot of attention because it's dignity in your life to be able to afford the care that you need. Kamala has proposed extending Medicare to pay for home health care so our seniors can stay in their homes. Big deal. And I think many folks might not have known this. Currently, Medicare does not pay for vision, for glasses, and hearing aids. We will extend it to those things, too, for quality of life. If you want to own a home, we're going to make sure there's 3 million more units being built and that you get the opportunity to get a $25,000 credit for the down payment to get more people in their homes. And for those of you who want to be entrepreneurs and start that American dream, it costs about $40,000 to get a small business off the ground in the beginning. Currently, the law says you can deduct $5,000 tax credit. Kamala will propose and we'll put into law $50,000 to get you off the ground and make it work. Now look, that is not a concept of a plan. That is a plan, and I'm damn proud of it. That is a real plan. I got asked, and the Vice President got asked, well, how will you pay for this? Well, for starters, we'll have Donald pay his damn taxes, and we can go from there. Elon can pay his taxes. But in all seriousness, they do have a plan on the other side. It's called Project 2025. Folks, they have thought about this long and hard. They have brought the folks in who want to reimagine what America looks like, skewing the system for a few. I said, and they're pretending now, oh, this doesn't mean anything. Bull crap. They created that thing just like I said, you create a playbook in football so you can execute the plays. They plan on doing this. This playbook is a damn nightmare for the middle class. Look, in this thing, they're going to repeal the bipartisan infrastructure law. To these members of Congress who helped pass this, this was the most significant investment in American infrastructure since the Eisenhower interstate system. It is huge. It is huge. They'll repeal that, take back the jobs. Repeal the Inflation Reduction Act that's moving us towards a better and a cleaner energy future. They will pull that back, costing hundreds of thousands of jobs, many right here in Michigan. And then, because Donald Trump appears to be unable to understand that when you slap a tariff on goods, the people pay for it. The people pay for it. 20% increase, $4,000 to each and every one of you. You would have thought in his nearly 80 years on the planet he could have learned what a damn tariff was and how it worked. But maybe not, because he couldn't barely open a door to a garbage truck, so we know that. Now look, there's a lot of independents and Republicans supporting this campaign. And they're doing it because old Republican Party stood for something and contributed to this. And when they talked about freedom, they meant it. When Donald Trump talks about freedom, he means the freedom for he and his government to be in your exam room, to be in your bedroom, to be in your kids' libraries, to tell you what to read. I've said it, and you say it here. We're all better off if they mind their own damn business, we mind our own business, and things will work. But here's the choice. When Kamala Harris talks about freedom, freedom for you to make the choices, not politicians. You decide who you marry. You decide when you go to the doctor. You decide when you start a family. You decide what you're going to read. That's what freedom looks like. And where Donald Trump called Social Security a Ponzi scheme, in every one of his budget, he voted to cut it. They talk about raising the age to it. J.D. Vance said it's the only impediment to fiscal sanity. What we understand is freedom is for our seniors to retire with dignity by strengthening Social Security and Medicare. And folks in this city know what freedom looks like. The freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water, to make sure. Because investing for it, and we must make those investments because we can't afford not to. Now, Kamala understands working with communities to make sure you have the ability to not just get by, but to be able to thrive. And I'll say it here, we've seen it across this country. I say it as a father of a senior in high school. I say it as someone who's been in the classroom, and now as governor of Minnesota. The freedom to send your little ones to school in best dressed clothes, to go be kids and learn, and the freedom for them not to be shot dead in that classroom when they get there. And I refuse to have them frame this up. I know guns, you know guns. I was a veteran, a hunter, a gun owner. Kamala's a gun owner. We have our entire lives, and we know that we can uphold the Second Amendment while upholding our first responsibility, which is the protection of our children, first and foremost. Now look, it's coming down, and I know you get it, but I'm going to talk to just the guys here. I want the guys in the room here to think about, or those who think about the women you love, whether it's daughter, wife, mom, aunt, neighbor, friend. Think about them. And when you think about what the next 4 days in this election means, their lives are literally at stake in how this election goes. Donald Trump's the guy who appointed the Supreme Court justices who overturned Roe versus Wade. He brags about it, and those women you're thinking of right now, they have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers had because of Donald Trump. 20 states have Trump abortion bans. Yesterday, and this nightmare continues on with him as he spirals down. Yesterday, he told us he is going to put RFK Jr. in charge of women's health. And he told the women here that he would be your protector. And he added, he said, I quote, I'm going to do it whether women like it or not. Which is pretty much what he's done his entire life. Well, now we're seeing it. Women turned away from emergency rooms, miscarriaging in parking lots, whether they like it or not. Survivors of rape being forced to carry those pregnancies to term, whether they like it or not. Fertility clinics having turned couples away at the door, whether they like it or not. This is personal for me and my family. We had fertility issues, but we had fertility treatments, and we had our beautiful daughter. And I will be damned if anyone in this country should be denied the right to have their family of their choice. When Congress and we get the majority back in the House of Representatives and hold the Senate, and we restore reproductive freedom, Kamala Harris will sign that bill into law. Folks, it's pretty simple. Kamala Harris and I trust women. And I have a feeling that women across this country of every age, of either party, are going to send a loud and clear message to Donald Trump next Tuesday, whether he likes it or not. Folks, Kamala Harris has been saying we're not going back, and she means it. And she means it. I'm here today on behalf of soon-to-be President Harris, myself, and the rest of this country to humbly ask you for your vote. We got 4 days. Momentum's on our side, but this is the time to take nothing for granted. So this is the time, folks. It's a pep talk for the folks who are here. Tie game, 2 minutes left. We got the damn ball. We got the best quarterback in Kamala Harris. It's on the field. We got the best team that's doing the work in all of you. We don't get tired because we sleep when we're dead in this group. You know that 1 or 2 votes per precinct in Michigan could make the difference. Not for 4 years, but for a generation going forward if we win this thing. There's going to be a time when, and I know the young people find this hard to believe, you're going to be older, you're going to be sitting in that rocking chair on the porch rocking, and a little one's going to come up to you and they say, tell us about the time in 2024 where we saved democracy. What did you do? They're going to ask you, what did you do in 2024? And your answer is going to be every damn thing I could. Every damn thing I could. How many have voted in this group? All right. How many have made phone calls in this group? Anybody door knocked? All right. Here we go, folks. If you still got a mail-in ballot, get the damn thing in the mail today. Or take it to the clerk's office. Or make a plan to vote between now and Sunday. Or on November 5th. Now, here's the deal. iwillvote.com/mi to find your polling place. That's what you got to do, folks. And here's the deal. What a privilege, within a little over 100 hours, to be able to work our tails off, to be able to stand up for this democracy, to be in that long line of patriots that did the right thing for this country, to be able to make an impact, protect reproductive care, create good manufacturing jobs, increase union participation, do something about gun violence. All of the things we want to do, we've got the ability to do it because we believe in the promise of this country. And as the Vice President has taught us well, when we fight, for the next 4 days now, when we vote, Michigan, bring this thing home for America. Let's go. Let's go.